Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. If it is a First Alert 6 weather day, and as we make our way through the rest of the day, we're going to see winds ramp up. That's the main reason why we now have a First Alert 6 weather day. It's for tonight, where we're getting an increasing signal that we're going to end up seeing wind gusts that could get into some territory where we could get some issues with power outages potentially, knocking down Halloween decorations, some branches could get knocked over. This is all stuff that goes into that decision for why we have a First Alert 6 weather day now for today. So we're going to talk about the details of how things play out for the rest of the day. It's a soggy, chilly one out there, where we end up for the rest of the day today. And if you have any questions, if you're watching on Facebook, feel free to drop those in the comment section. I'll be keeping an eye on that. Appreciate anyone who is watching, no matter what medium you are watching on right now. Let's go ahead and get into what we're going to be seeing here for the rest of the day. We've already seen our high temperature of 52 take place. We're going to be looking at temperatures for much of the rest of the day, staying in the upper 40s. We'll have the gusts just gradually increasing as the day continues to go on, and have that rain as well. So we're going to be looking at, by the time we get past sunset, gusts, again, that could get to 60 miles per hour. And if you are familiar with what we have seen, what we see during the typical course of the year, you know that severe thunderstorms are at that threshold right around 60 miles per hour. Now, these are not from thunderstorms. These are just winds associated with this system as it moves through. Those will be right out of the north, and they'll really ramp up as we get past sunset, and that's where that concern for maybe getting some power issues comes into play. So let's look a little closer at our winds. We've been getting some gusts up around 25 miles per hour already, and let me back this up a little bit on our time frame here. So there we go. As we make our way through the rest of our day today, you're going to notice that we just continue to see those winds get stronger. So as we get toward middle of the day, lunch hour, we're talking gusts that are up around 25, 30 miles per hour in the metro. A little bit stronger if you're closer to the Norfolk area, Columbus. That's where we could be looking at gusts up around 40 miles per hour. We continue into the afternoon, still getting some gusts up around 40 miles per hour. And then as we continue into the evening, look at how much those ramp up as we get past sunset. This is as the system just continues to move a little further to the east, and then almost kind of backtracks a little bit. And as that happens, that's where we get that increase in the winds. You can see a couple of isolated gusts that are getting near 60 miles per hour as we're getting into that 7 o'clock or so time frame. We continue through the evening. Still have that corridor, those strong wind gusts right across most of the area. Could easily get some of those that are up over 50 miles per hour. And as we continue into the nighttime hours, right around midnight, 11, midnight, we're still getting some gusts that could get up around 60 miles per hour. So we're going to be looking at this being an issue for several hours as we get into the evening. And this is the reason why we have that First Alert 6 weather day, is for the impacts that this could cause. Keep in mind, there's all kinds of Halloween decorations that are out. People have inflatables, the big tall skeletons, and all that kind of stuff could get blown over in this kind of wind. Also, it's been raining. It will have been raining through much of the day, so you're talking some heavier leaves on the trees that could cause some branches to get knocked down. So we're looking at a number of factors that play into this. We're still looking at strong wind gusts even as we make our way into the later portions of the night. Now, once we get to the morning, I do expect we'll start to back these winds off a little more than what's showing up here. And as we're getting into the early morning hours, still likely pretty windy, get some gusts up around 35, 40 miles per hour. We'll gradually see those winds go down as we get later in the day. And by the time we're in the afternoon, we're talking some gusts that could be closer to 30 miles per hour out of the north. So that's the wind aspect of this, and I'll keep an eye on the comment section if there's any questions about that. I'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, I think about 60 is probably where we peak, Kyle. We are still looking at pretty strong wind gusts for a storm system when you're talking about wind gusts that are up around 60 miles per hour out of these. So that's definitely worth keeping an eye on and planning for. And then alongside the increasing wind through the day, we're talking about a soggy day. We've already had a number of issues with our morning drive. This is what it's looking like 90th and Dodge. By the way, you can always find details of anything that's happening with our commute or even beyond the commute on our traffic blog. If you're not familiar with that, it's on our website, firstalert6.com. It's a really handy tool where we keep that updated with any kind of construction, event impacts to traffic, and kind of the core of it is any crashes or stalled vehicles that you're seeing as you're making your way out and about for your drives. So that's been something we've been tracking all morning long. Definitely wet roads having a play in how things have gone this morning, and we were at 52 degrees to start off the day. We're at 48 now, and we're not going to really improve on that all that much. This is one of those kind of brutal kind of days, I think you could call it. 48. You've got northwest winds that are consistently 20 miles per hour, gusts that could get up around 25 to 30 miles per hour the next few hours, and then just ramp up from there. It already feels like it's 41 degrees out there, so that's not going to change a whole lot for the rest of the day. You can see how the temperatures go as we work our way here into the afternoon and evening. Just continuing to sit there in the 40s. Not a whole lot of motion with those. We'll be in the 40s into the nighttime hours. And even tomorrow, we're still talking about temps that are in the 40s. So if you haven't gotten the coat out that can handle rain and also some chilly air, you'll want it for today. There's a current look at the radar, and you can see there's still rain ongoing throughout the metro. That's not going to change a whole lot through the day either. When we zoom things out, you may say, well, wait a minute. The edge of the rain is right there. It is. It's right there on the edge of roughly about Highway 77 or so, but this is going to slow down significantly, kind of stall out a little bit, and we will likely even add a little bit of rain here on the back side of this. So even though we are looking at kind of the radar getting a little lessened on the left side, on the west side of this, I do expect that we'll still have this in our area for quite some time. So here's what that looks like, and you can kind of see how that just continues to sit right over the metro, the river, into southwest Iowa, western Iowa really, and then even in Nebraska, we're kind of building in some new rain as the afternoon goes on. That's not really moving a whole lot. Into the evening drive, we'll likely still have issues at that point with wet roads, so plan accordingly for the evening drive to have some slick spots. And then as we continue through the evening, still seeing the rain over the area. Now, it likely gets a little bit more spotty, lighter as we get into the overnight hours. You can kind of see that taking place here as we get toward midnight, 1 o'clock. This is when we're seeing those really strong winds. And then as we get closer to the morning, we should gradually tail this off. I think by the time we're getting about 7, 8 o'clock, we should be starting to see this wind down. And I think by 9 o'clock at the latest, we should have the rain done. As far as how much rain ends up falling, in addition to what's already out there, we could still be talking about another ½ inch to inch from the metro off to the east. So still plenty more. And that'll likely be enough that it cuts into time that farmers are trying to be out in the fields. So I'm going to need a few days to dry out from this one for sure. Checking back in on the yeah, we've done a few updates here, Kyle. We got the new microphone that you're probably noticing. A little bit of a new look here. We're always on YouTube all the time. You can check us out with these live streams too. And then we hop on here too, and we love talking to you guys on here as well. Yeah, so that's what it's looking like as far as our rain is concerned. We get into tomorrow, we likely see the rain ending very early on. Talking about being done by the time we're at 8, 9 o'clock. Could still have a few around early enough that there's some impacts to the early morning drive for our Wednesday. And it will be windy early too, and then we'll gradually see those winds get a little bit lessened, maybe get a little late day sunshine, but likely only getting up into the upper 40s for our high on Wednesday. So plan accordingly. Another chilly one for Wednesday. Probably the best day that we have in the forecast for this week is Thursday. There could be some fog around to start off the day, so first alert to that, but we'll likely clear out some and get up into the upper 50s for high by Thursday afternoon. If you're wondering about frost possibilities, we get to Thursday morning. We'll have to keep an eye on that. We are getting into that territory once again, and we've got a few more nights for the rest of the week and into the weekend where we get into that frost territory. So if you have plants that you've managed to salvage at this point, and for those of you who aren't gardeners, I've had some questions about why we're worrying about it when we're near Halloween. There's perennials. You may have plants outdoors that you put out during the year, and then eventually you pull those inside. So that is one thing that the gardeners pay close attention to when we get into this kind of time frame, is when they need to pull those perennials back inside. So that's what we're looking at as far as that's concerned. If you're wondering about the forecast for trick-or-treating, Halloween being on Friday, trending a little colder. We're looking at a high in the mid-50s now on Friday. Increasing cloud cover. Likely have a fair amount of clouds for trick-or-treating time frame. Does look dry, but most of that time will be in the 40s, and we'll have a decent breeze. So getting into that territory where you may need the coat along with the costume. So plan accordingly for making that costume. Make it maybe a little on the warmer side. Speaking of, we've got the Husker game in Lincoln, and Saturday is also trending colder. And this is a 6:30 kickoff as they host USC. So with that nighttime game, we're well into the 40s during that one. At least the winds are light, but pretty good amount of cloud cover, especially early on. May get a little clearing as we get later in the game, but it'll be chilly. We'll be mid-40s throughout that one. You're going to want to dress warm if you're going to be spending your Saturday evening at Memorial Stadium. All right. Show you the 10-day forecast. Again, rain for the rest of the day today. Will be windy. We'll continue to ramp that wind up as we go through the rest of the day. If you didn't catch it earlier, we're talking the possibility of gusts that could get up to 60 miles per hour as we get into the post-sunset hours. And that's where we start getting concerned about getting power outages and maybe some branches that have issues. We get to tomorrow morning, we'll be still windy. We'll gradually see the wind tail off as the day goes on. We should have the showers done before 9 a.m., but still a chilly day, only in the 40s, maybe a little late day sunshine. Best day looks like Thursday. We'll increase the cloud cover through our Friday. Halloween will peak in the mid-50s, most of trick-or-treating spent in the 40s. Saturday, we struggle to get back into the low 50s. Most of that day is in the 40s as well, and it will be in the 40s for the Husker game. First alert reminder, we do change the clocks this weekend, so don't forget about that. We'll be falling back. That is Saturday night. And as we get into Sunday, which is Dia de los Muertos, a lot of stuff going on this weekend. We'll be actually seeing a warmer day. Looking pretty nice for that second half of the 10-day forecast. A lot of temperatures that peak near 60 degrees. Average high gets into the 50s by the time we're on that part of the 10-day. And the long-term trends do point warmer than average as we're starting off the month of November. So today's kind of the anomaly. Today, tomorrow, keep that in mind, that it will not be quite this cool as we go forward. But, of course, short-term, a lot of the focus on that first alert 6 weather day with the strong wind gusts as we get into the post-sunset hours. Unfortunately, it's going to be pretty soggy the rest of the day, so if you do have anything you need to get outdoors, though, tie down, bring in even with how strong those wind gusts get, up to around 60 miles per hour. You have to get out and do that here sooner rather than later with the strong wind gusts just continuing to build in as the day goes on. Would be remiss if I didn't mention, as Kyle kind of hinted at here, we do have a major hurricane making its way into Jamaica at this hour. Just about to make landfall, Hurricane Melissa. It is a Category 5, packing winds that are up over 170 miles per hour. So you're looking at a nasty, nasty storm that is going to be impacting Jamaica here. So all thoughts with them, and hopefully everyone is able to get through that one okay. that will be getting a lot of in the spotlight here over the next couple days with that storm making landfall. I think with that, we'll wrap things up. I haven't seen any other questions come in here on Facebook. I appreciate everyone who has joined in to tune in. And remember, you can always catch these live streams on YouTube. We have those. And also, we are always going to pop on here when we have these kind of First Alert 6 weather days and give those updates. Also, coming up here in just about 20 minutes, you can catch Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord on First Alert 6 with all the latest on how things are proceeding with our First Alert 6 weather day. So join us for that. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and make sure that you try to stay warm and stay dry as this day goes on.